For us in India, collaborative innovation would mean how we reach out to the mass. In our own business banking, we believe there is a target population of 600 million which is unbanked. How do you bank the unbanked is the challenge before us. This cannot be done in the old way in which branches were used by banks to reach out to the mass. We would need to use technology, innovate on technology, and then try to reach out to this mass. Again, just the bank trying to innovate will not do. Technology partners will have to innovate along with you. You will have to develop models in partnership with other like-minded people, which will again reach out to this mass. You may have to work with business correspondents. So there is a huge challenge here in terms of trying to reach this large mass of people, 600 million people, 600 million customers, and how do you get them to be able to get the benefits of financial inclusion and develop. And as I said, this cannot be done by you alone. You will have to innovate and you will have to collaborate. I think this to me is the meaning of collaborative innovation. Top issue in terms of the world today is inclusiveness. How do you include the vast mass of people who today are not part of the mainstream into the mainstream process? There are other issues. There is global warming and such issues. To me, the main issue is inclusion. How do you include the masses living in the poorer continents of the world into the mainstream economies of the world? If we can achieve that, we would have done a lot to improve this world we live in. Indeed, I expect the Indian Rupee to strengthen in the coming years. And this is on the bedrock of a competitive business environment that India has built. Whether it is in the knowledge businesses or whether it is in the manufacturing sector, we have now found competitiveness. And given this, India is going to be a strong trading partner. And as long as we can maintain our competitiveness, I expect the Indian Rupee to get stronger as we go along. And it's probably time for Indian business to realize that this is going to happen and prepare themselves for a strong rupee going forward. ICICI Bank expects to be in the US in January of 2008. We will do those businesses which are permitted to us under the US regulatory format. We believe that we are early entrants into this market from India, and we will have to slowly grow. So there's no question about taking on the large established players in that marketplace. As far as the global credit situation is concerned, India has been fairly insulated. We believe that we will continue to be insulated in this context. There is no problem in access to funding for Indian corporates or Indian banks at this point in time. However, I must say that there has been some increase in interest rate that we are required to pay on borrowings. But I think this is manageable. India will become a global financial center in the coming years. That is because the growth that we see in India, continued 10% growth momentum and acceleration in terms of economic development, would make this a very large economy which will warrant its own global financial center. But leading to it, we will have to take several steps. These would primarily include deepening of our various markets, whether they be currency markets, debt markets or equity markets, and providing freer flows into the country and out of the country. I think once this happens, India will become a major global financial center. As far as the US economic growth is concerned, India is fairly insulated, because India has never really followed an export-led strategy. It was meeting home demand with export at the margin. The export areas that we really went into were in the knowledge areas, and we believe the demand for knowledge goods will continue to be strong, because these knowledge goods that India exports, basically services, have truly cost-reducing impact in the global context. And as long as there are cost pressures elsewhere, these exports of services will continue. So, not being a major exporter of manufactured goods, I think India is fairly insulated from any slowdown that could happen in the US. The youth bulge is clearly visible in India. You have 70% of the population below the age of 35, which would mean that you will have every year or 10-12 million people coming into the job market who are young, who can be trained in a variety of skills and provide you the growth momentum that you need. At ICICI Bank, we have a twofold advantage because of this youth bulge. A, this youth form increasingly our client base, so we have an opportunity to serve them and serve them through their life cycle. As they grow, as their incomes grow, as their savings grow, as the need for products grow, we can serve them. At the other end, this youth also provides us our intake of human capital that we require on an annual basis. So to us, being in a country with a youth bulge has been a huge plus. In India, the way ICICI Bank has responded to this is to not complain about it, but take proactive steps to address this. So, at the start, what we have done is we have codified our own learnings, basically the learning processes that are in the organization, put them online as it were, as much as possible. And then we are sharing this teaching material with the training institutes, with the universities and the like, so that they could run programs. They could actually put this learning material into their course content. And we have been working with these universities to train the trainers and get them ready to teach the classes that will graduate in the coming years. This program we have found to be extremely beneficial, because it is now right skilling the people that we need. So I believe that as we go along, more and more industry players will do the same thing. They will drop their own curricula, try to get it introduced as part of either a certification program or into the college skills as it were, if required, and then use the product that comes out of these training programs and colleges in their businesses. I think we will meet the shortage of skills through this measure. There is no shortage of people. There is a queue of people available. It's just the challenge of right skilling them. I think most of us are onto this challenge. I think we will need to work with the World Economic Forum on a variety of projects which would address inclusiveness. To us, I think the mantra in India is going to be inclusiveness. How do we mainstream people in India who have not had access, whether it is to banking or to other, I would say, things which are taken for granted in the Western world. And it is those sort of projects that we would seek out with the World Economic Forum to push first into India maybe, and then onto those parts of the world where again there is a need for such products.